Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
Indubitably.
I feel like we should make a t-shirt that has Josh's, That Kind of Nerd glyph, and it says, "What up?" That's what we need to do.
Yeah, somehow make it like, put like an umlaut under the
Right.
What up?
So it's like, what up?
If this is your first episode, I highly recommend you go to intro.thatkindofnerd.com. That way you can learn a little bit about us, a little bit about the show, and then you can dive headfirst into this episode.
I think you should listen to episode 67.
That is shooty, drivey.
That must have been the episode right after sexy, stabby.
Which, by the way, is one of my favorite. It's not, though, but shooty, drivey.
What were we talking about? Because we were talking about something with guns in reference to Game of Thrones. Sexy, stabby.
Spoiler-free conversation about Suicide Squad, August
No,
Blockbuster,
Suicide Squad.
Fantasy Movie Leagues, 13 Years of Nintendo Power, Sons of Anarchy in Big Bang Theory.
Oh, no, it was Sons of Anarchy. We said that about
it was probably,
shooting.
yeah, it was,
driving.
yeah, it was about Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I'm glad we could do that. All right, so let's just dive into this. I love to obviously go around the internet. I like to find the weird. I like to find the obscure. And then I ask these two gentlemen for a tech perspective. So starting the show off, Flickr, you may know, it was one of the most popular... Just want to get to the... There's no need for this because I already introed the segment, so you don't have to... Are we good? So... Flickr used to be... So, Flickr was at one time the most popular website to store and save your photos that you could share with it online.
I've never heard of it.
It was
What's Flickr?
I know two people who used Flickr.
See, it was more than two people. However,
Flickr,
It was all like the state kids. It was like Matt Scher and Nate Goggins. Like the only two people I know using Flickr.
See, the thing that reason why everyone kind of forgot about it was Yahoo bought Flickr halfway through its run, and then in April of 2018, Yahoo sold Flickr. So the fact that this company...
So they totally saw the value in purchasing that.
Yeah, well, first off, also Yahoo, so
There's no buyer's remorse in that purchase at all.
Well, but here, look, I mean, from what I'm reading, you have options, right? You can keep your photos up and pay for a pro account, or download them and peace out.
So, I mean, you just jumped the whole setup of the story, but yeah. So, I mean, that's it.
The setup is that they're deleting your photos.
Well, the setup was this. Flickr used to have a policy of unlimited photo storage, right? You could just, as many free cloud storage to hold on to your photos. And then it was, okay, now we're freemium. Figure it out. And then during the sale, it became, hey, you can only hold 1,000. And now they're basically saying, hey, we're shutting it down. We're going to delete all your photos.
Or pay $50 per year and they'll store your shit, right?
Correct. Yes.
So if you're one of these skater kids that has a bajillion photos,
here's
right, $50 a year isn't terrible.
I just figured out the perfect analogy. Flickr is to photos what SoundCloud is to music. It's where there's SoundCloud rappers and there's people who are just throwing really bad podcasts on the SoundCloud and you only get 4 episodes of them and then you lose it.
I've never listened to anything on SoundCloud.
Exactly my point, right? So a public server announcement, you have until February 5th to download your photos or they will be deleted. So just be careful about that.
Well, I mean, are these full quality photos?
Yep, they were full quality. That was the thing. There really wasn't any compression. Then, it was pretty good.
Then let me offer an alternative solution. You can get a 2 teraflop external hard drive for $100 at this point.
Yeah.
At least 1.21 gigawatts.
Go ahead and do that. And then, put everything on there and then unplug it and store it in a safe place.
Yeah. I highly recommend having a physical backup to your photos. I use Google Photos instead of Flickr because it's unlimited storage.
Yeah, but it's a reduction in quality.
It is. 100%. But I also have an external hard drive that I back it up to. I have both. But I have I have an online cloud storage system where I can just go and grab it if I need it.
All the important stuff, like the digital prints of our wedding photos, all the kids stuff, all the stuff that I really care about that isn't in iCloud, right?
Right.
Is on 2 portable hard drives and 2 thumb drives.
Yeah.
Just to be fucking safe and redundant.
Right.
See, I don't have a physical backup.
Ooh, you need to do that.
Gotta have it.
I don't have any photos. All of my entire camera roll is old memes and screenshots of Twitter.
But Brian, you now have a fiance, right? You now have a significant other in your life who is very important to you.
You're telling me you don't have any selfies in the last 10 photos taken?
Well, now ever since I had a fiance / girlfriend, I do now.
Turn it around, spin it around. Let me see it.
Yeah, no, the last 10 photos are all our engagement photos.
Right.
So of course I do.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but that's recently. Out of the 2,489 photos that I have in my phone, only 65 of them are classified as selfies.
Okay, so you're not a selfie taker, but you now
having a face in them.
On my phone, I have 6,454.
On my phone, I have 198 and 12 videos, but on
what the hell?
But on Google Photos, I don't even have.
They teach you how to live like that as part of your MK Ultra training, right?
I just go to Google Photos if I need
no
a photo.
Trail.
I just
leave no trail, comrade.
You should see how many photos I have on Google Photos. So if you're a person who relied on any kind of cloud storage to back up your photos, number one, Josh is right. Go get an external hard drive, back them up physically. It's good to have. I also will tell you this. If you are an Amazon Prime customer, you do get 5 gigs of free photo storage through Amazon. So if you don't feel like paying Apple or some other company, you can do it that way. And I'll also put in the link, The Verge has a great article to help you with cloud storage options as well. So you can go ahead and figure out what to do with the cloud. But put them on an actual drive, make sure they're safe, have a digital backup of it. So if you're a person who uses Flickr, again, February 5th, they're gone. They're going to be deleted. And then also, why are you still using Flickr? I mean, like, come on. It's 2019 now. Like, get on it. Ridiculous. So there are 2 stories that are kind of connected right now, and they're all under one umbrella. Right now, CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. What does CES actually stand for? CES.
That's right, Consumer Electronics Show.
Is that what it is? All right. It's going on, and what CES is really all about. Symposium, Consumer Electronics Symposium.
There's no way it's Symposium.
It's absolutely Symposium, Josh. I need you to go with me on this.
I don't think it's Symposium.
I got CJ believing me.
What is CES? Consumer Electronics Show. I was right. Try to trick me.
No, that's wrong. Where'd you find that? The internet?
So, the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, is going on right now, which is really the time of the year that television shines. It's where TV tech comes out, and you get to see what kind of TVs you're going to buy in maybe 2-3 years when it's time for a new one. But some big news came out of this that I kind of wanted to bring to our attention, especially for us Apple fans. And the first one was a headline that I had to read twice, which is Apple is putting iTunes on Samsung TVs. It's also going to be supporting AirPlay 2. So it's official. It's not like a hack or a workaround. Samsung is not leasing. What's the word I'm looking for? Licensing the technology for AirPlay and iTunes. This is a push for Apple to make iTunes movies and TV shows as a service, and now available in more areas. So you do not need an Apple TV to watch your Apple content.
As a question,
the gentleman, the chair recognizes the man who has many shelves of DVDs.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Will this work on the Samsung television that I currently have hanging in my living room?
Probably not without a firmware.
There are a couple 2018 models, which I believe you just bought.
I'm capable of connecting to the internet and updating my firmware.
It is.
Yeah, but there's some series, if you recall, some series Samsung TVs require that like Samsung proprietary box thing. Mm-hmm. Is yours like an 8000 series, like one of those?
It's a literally brand new television QLED. I don't remember the model
then
number.
You're probably
it's like an 8F.
It most likely will, but as of right now, there's no list of what TVs will be updated. So, I mean, that'll be coming out. So I guess we can keep you updated as that.
I have another question.
Again, the chair recognizes the man with the many DVDs.
Because I don't want to move forward with the show, I'm going to read War and Peace for the next 6 hours.
Will the gentleman yield his time for a question?
The gentleman will not yield his time, sir.
He's filibustering.
No.
But in all seriousness, when is this supposed to be happening?
It is basically the TVs are going to be coming out in spring of 2019. There's also going to be a development where you're also going to have some that have Google Assistant built into them as well. So if you have an Android phone, you will have the ability to do Chromecasting and the ability to use the Google Assistant. If you are an Apple user, you will have the ability to control your TV using your iPhone and be able to play your iTunes content on there without any special attachment, any extra fees, just the typical stuff. So you can AirPlay to a Samsung TV. No Apple TV needed.
No, that makes sense to me. The iTunes thing makes a little bit less sense. I mean, I get
you can rent a movie on the Samsung TV without having to buy an Apple TV.
I know. I understand. But like, it's my experience that smart TVs don't have all the apps that are available on Apple TV.
It's not the apps. It's just...
I understand.
Correct, yes.
Just iTunes.
Just iTunes,
right?
Yes.
Just for purchasing movies.
Right. Just like the Google Play Store, and it's only movies.
Or watching your purchases or listening to music. I get it.
Yes.
Like, and that's cool. But it doesn't replace an Apple TV for me.
You use other apps besides...
Well, Stars, Showtime, Maxgo, HBO now.
So
that's all available on...
Those are all available on Samsung's operating system.
DC Universe is available there too?
That is the only thing that I have found is not available. It's DC Universe.
As well as Sunday Ticket, like
DirecTV is on
There's
Samsung.
DirecTV.
Yes.
The DirecTV.
Same
apps
thing
are
with
available,
PlayStation
yes.
View
Okay.
and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, everything that isn't DC Universe, which I could AirPlay from my MacBook,
Right. That's why I'm asking, because right now I'm trying to catch up on Titans because I was a little bit behind, and I'm trying to watch it, but I've been watching it in my office. But this way, I can just AirPlay it to my Samsung television, which is 65 inches and glorious.
So here's another twist to this. So the brand Vizio.
More importantly, Young Justice Season 3 started, and I feel like everybody should know.
Okay. All right.
If you haven't watched Young Justice, Josh, I need you to watch all the episodes of Young Justice, Josh.
Well,
so that
listen,
you can
after
watch
I've
this
climbed
third
out of
season.
my kiddie pool full of tears from watching This Is Us, I'll consider it.
So the brand Vizio also made some announcement as well. They will also have AirPlay 2 on their televisions, but they're also going to have it on their Android TV model. So you'll have Android TV and AirPlay 2, and they added one more thing, HomeKit. So you can tell your Siri on all your multiple devices, hey Siri, turn on the TV. Hey Siri, watch this movie. You'll have the ability to do that.
Sense. It doesn't make sense for any brand not to have access to HomeKit at this point.
Right, but the problem is it's the way that it has to work together. So far from what I tell, Vizio is the only brand who's doing it.
But Vizio will continue to be a subpar television?
Dude, come on. E-Series,
it's
E-Series,
subpar.
they're fine.
Listen.
They're
First off, I am
fine.
not questioning the validity of the brand. I am not saying that it doesn't do well because I know they sell a lot. I am saying it is a subpar, mediocre television.
I
I disagree with
completely.
subpar mediocre. It is not top tier. It is not.
No, it's not top tier, but I'll
That's the
take an
definition
E-Series.
of mediocre.
Dude, I will take an E-Series Vizio over most of the Samsung series.
Correct, I agree. Because they're not pushing the limits, Brian. They're staying with what
They're not,
technology
and
is working,
especially
and they're just making
like
it good.
The price points are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're really good.
on all the Samsung TVs, the Sony TVs. Like, I will take an E-Series for half the price.
Yeah, and that's the other part too. This integration of having both services, so Google and this integration with iOS happening across their entire line. So like even their cheap TVs are having this development. So it's pretty cool. The other TV I want to bring out, I just thought was just so damn interesting. LG made a rollable TV that is coming to your probably Best Buy this year.
Like a yoga mat?
So I'll include a link in the show notes.
Like while I'm downward facing dog, I can watch TV as well?
So I'll include a link in the show notes. But what it looks like basically is kind of like a soundbar. It just looks like a soundbar. It's a little big. And then when you turn it on, up rolls your television. It's 4K. It's OLED. It's got some amazing display technology behind it that I don't understand because TV is not my bag. But it looks amazing. Everyone who's seen it says it's
Brian.
pretty interesting.
It's like a projector screen, right? Like it's like a portable projector screen
I
that
know,
comes
I
up
know.
out of the, which is whatever. And that's not, in my opinion, the most interesting announcement that LG had at CES this year.
The thing I like about this TV, Josh, is that it's not the whole TV going in like just sliding down. It really is rolling. So I mean, it's in a smaller container than the actual.
Not really.
It's
though.
like a Russian nesting
because
doll.
it's a bulky ass box that you would have.
It's not
it's
that
bulky as
it's
shit,
not
dude.
that big. It's big.
And
it's gaudy.
I bet you it's double the weight of any TV.
Okay,
that
the
size
weight
currently.
I would probably I don't know, right? No.
Right, so this is not a portable thing.
Well, you gotta think. I mean, there's got to be an entire motor. Who said it was portable?
This is your home TV.
Although if it was portable,
I understand that, but like, what why do I care if my TV comes in and out of a
so
thing?
some people have limited space, don't want a TV taking up their entire wall.
If they have limited space, they can't have that TV.
some people. CJ's reasoning was dumb. I'm going to give you the real reason. Some people, for aesthetic reasons, for like feng shui, don't like having like a television hanging on their wall.
Oh, this is a 5-foot fucking box on a table.
But you know what? It looks like a coffee table that
with
you
wires coming in and out of it.
Hey, I didn't say I was one of these people. I've got a freaking TV hanging on my wall. I'm just saying.
This thing is stupid. You know what you could do? You could ceiling mount a projector screen that is completely seamless.
Sure.
That's how you save space. Let me talk quickly about the actual big news from LG. So this was during CES. LG unveils an 88-inch 8K TV that doubles as a giant speaker. The panel itself is a speaker. It's a 322 sound system embedded into the display.
I did hear about this. CJ, what the heck? You did bury the lead.
Of an 88-inch Crystal Sound OLED set.
Holy shit.
So right. Now, I guarantee you it's going to be $1 bajillion. I didn't read the whole article because I thought this was so fantastical.
Right.
That I like. It's like sci-fi.
No, it really is.
This is the year that Blade Runner takes place. So
there we go. You know what I just realized? I just realized subconsciously why I was in love with this rollable TV. And that's the fact that I have a 1.5-year-old who is constantly touching my television. I'm like, stop. Please don't poke the TV. And as a parent who has a young kid, I'm pretty interested in that. But she's going to grow up pretty quickly. So by the time I finance this rollable television and then I pay it off, she'll be in college? So, no need to buy it. This is crazy, though. Where's the picture? Give me a picture of this.
I just sent you a link. This same article, they had the video for the rollable 4K.
It's nice.
You have an 88-inch TV, and the first thing you decide to show off is the newspaper?
The text is so legible.
That's the first freaking picture. I don't care about the fucking newspaper. No one reads the newspaper anymore, LG.
But dude, life's good. Just let it be.
Okay, well, we can agree that what they actually display on there isn't as important as what this thing is, right?
The only picture of it is the newspaper. In case you were curious, in the OLED time.
All it said is that they unveiled an 88-inch Crystal Sound OLED display that is actually a 322 sound system.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Oh, the sound emits from the panel itself.
It's a fucking sound bar. It's a built-in.
Okay, no, I'm now that I'm reading about this, because I'm looking at this, it's a really thin TV. I mean, it's pretty thin.
It's wafer thin.
And I don't see like a big thing on the back that would be like a little speaker. So it's the panel itself, the actual TV that vibrates.
That's what I said 5 times.
But how does that not like instantly kill?
CJ, I am not a scientist. I really don't know.
Excuse me? The whole reason I put you on this show, Josh, was because I was told you were indeed in fact a scientist. I was told that there would be dinosaurs, that you would be able to help us with this.
That and your extreme knowledge of turtles.
What was this all for? What was this? What, 184 episodes and you're not a scientist?
Wasted.
I hope everyone enjoyed the last episode of the show. Congratulations, Josh, you've ruined Christmas.
Ruined. Yeah, so look, I think the rollable TV thing is a concept that has already been mastered by projector screens mounted seamlessly into one ceiling. And probably, did we get a price point on that rollable TV? Because I bet you can get an amazing projector and screen for way
So I
less.
got the price. It's
how much?
Who knows? I don't know. No one knows. They didn't give us a price yet. Do you know what though? I bet that TV, Josh, to your point, probably weighs about 7,000 harmonicas.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, it's like double-digit $1,000.
Oh, I was gonna say like $6K.
It's going to be probably
more like 10.
It's going to probably be in the Magnolia section of.
It's what is it? A 55-inch, 65-inch, 65-inch. So yeah, I mean 6K, 7K.
You can get a really good projector and a screen for that.
You can get a really good projector for $1,500, a really amazing screen for $500, and the installation and everything concealed for another $1,000.
And you could spend the other $3,000 to try to match my movie collection.
I think that's a brilliant, including building beautiful shelves into the wall.
Surprise, surprise. CJ saw an article and it's dumb, and Josh found a better article.
Listen, CJ, this all started because you found an amazing article that you thought was dumb, i.e. the Foldy Mate. It was bound to happen eventually that you would think something was awesome that is actually dog shit.
Well, now that we've talked about the world of tech, let's move on to the world of TV and movies in a segment that we call Screen to Stream.
This segment needs a theme song.
This segment does need a theme song. Okay, the segment needs a theme song. Please, I'm imploring you fans. Help us. Get us in touch with somebody. I don't know. I need a jingle for it. So someone help us make a jingle. I found this article that I would normally just kind of scroll by, but then I started reading it, and I gotta see you guys weighing in on this. And it's the 11 worst movie spin-offs of all time. Which is that's a bold thing to say, because there's been a lot of them. And I saw this list, and I was curious. So I just want to run through it real quick and get your opinion. Again, the link is in the show notes if you do want to read it yourself.
Well, let's just go 11 to 1. Let's
11, U.S. Marshals, which is, of course, the spinoff to The Fugitive.
I mean, it wasn't good.
Kill my wife.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Same thing about that.
But here's the thing, though. It was better action with Wesley Snipes than we had with Harrison Ford.
Yes.
It was a decent movie. I wouldn't say I would never rank it worst of all time.
Not worst. No.
I'm sure there's worse.
And also not a spin-off. This is a sequel because Tommy Lee Jones plays the same character.
Technically, for it to be a sequel, you need to be continuing a larger story.
You're continuing his story.
If you just have one other... If you just have another day,
U.S. Marshal Sam Gerard.
No, if you have another day in the day of a life of this U.S. Marshal, that's a spinoff. That's not a sequel.
That's like what was it? Mork and Mindy spinoff of Happy Days. It was talking about Mork and Mindy who were on Happy Days, but it's their own show. It's a spinoff. Yeah. Number 10, The Chronicles of Riddick, which is
now this I agree with. This was awful.
Spinoff of Pitch Black. I like The Chronicles of Riddick.
Pitch Black is good. What they're saying is The Chronicles of Riddick is awful, and The Chronicles of Riddick is awful.
No, I don't think awful.
Oh yeah,
I agree. I agree. It should be on the list. I don't think it's awful.
And again, a sequel, not a spinoff.
That is not a sequel. None of the other characters.
Doesn't matter. The entire movie Pitch Black was focused on Riddick.
No, it wasn't. Watch that movie again. Riddick is.
I've watched it 10 times. It's Riddick.
Black,
Riddick is an ancillary character.
I agree.
He is the guy who knows a guy who teaches them how to do the other guy.
I don't like any of this. I don't like any of what's happening.
Okay, all right. Well, how about number 10? Cavern of Courage, an Ewok adventure. Can we call that a spinoff?
Number 9.
Sorry, number 9.
Caravan of Courage.
Okay, I can't read.
That is a spinoff, and yes,
there was
awful.
Never a movie made about Ewoks like there was about Riddick.
Yes, there was.
It was called Pitch Black.
Oh my god, are we really fighting about Ewoks?
Return of the Jedi. Okay.
Return of the Jedi was not about Ewoks.
We're going to need to define what a sequel is, first and foremost. And luckily for you, I have actually pulled up the definition of a sequel.
Go ahead, please.
2 definitions. A published broadcast or recorded work that continues the story or develops the theme of an earlier one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a sequel.
Sure.
That's what I've been saying.
So Pitch Black that story ends. It doesn't continue.
Riddick's story continues.
But that is one character. That is one character.
Okay.
When you do one character, it is a spin-off.
What is
It is not the direct story.
Okay.
The second definition is something that takes place after or as a result of an earlier event. The point of a sequel is that it's got to be continuing the story that was set up in the original
Both of those definitions describe what I just said.
No, it doesn't, because you're focused on one character. One character continuing his story is a spin-off.
Reread that second definition, please.
Something that takes place after or as a result of an earlier event.
Sounds like you just defined sequel.
No.
That's what I said.
That one sounds like Josh's, but however, that's why it's number 2 and not number 1.
But I don't give
a shit.
In terms of Chronicles
I'm saying
of Riddick,
they're sequels.
But no, in terms of Chronicles of Riddick,
God. Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
in terms of Chronicles of Riddick, you're not continuing anything that happened to Riddick in
You're
Pitch
continuing
Black.
the Riddick story of his
that's
life.
not how this works.
Actually, the Chronicles of Riddick is actually a spin-off because of the fact that the screen time of Riddick is much longer in Pitch Black. So, like, that's what we're doing right now. Like, okay, agree to disagree on this one. We're getting way into the weeds. It's just a list of really bad movies, and we go, yeah, that is real bad.
Okay.
And instead,
we're
turning into a blockbuster debate.
But I'm right.
All right, Alien vs. Predator as number 8. Can we agree that one is a spin-off?
Yes, it's a spin-off, and it's not. The first one is not that bad.
It's a spin-off for sure.
It's the 2004
and the first one, that is the first one, is not that bad.
Okay.
If you've ever seen Requiem, they did mention that.
Requiem is awful.
Really, really, really bad.
Although the newest Predator movie, worse than Requiem.
Oh, I didn't know it was possible.
There you go.
Number 7, Supergirl.
I did not think this movie that was that terrible
How is this a spin-off?
because Supergirl is not Superman.
So wouldn't that make this an original movie?
I mean, I would say so.
Yeah, this isn't a...
She never made an
I
appearance.
disqualified from this list because there was never a Supergirl movie.
She never made an appearance in the original.
And she never made an
movies.
appearance in Superman.
Right. Okay.
Take that,
Disqualified.
GameStop or GameSpot. Take that, GameSpot. Number 6, I wholeheartedly agree with this. Planes, which is a
I never
spin-off
saw
of
it.
Cars.
I didn't even bother.
Which fucking
I don't like
sucks.
Cars enough to watch a spinoff about
The
planes.
next one, again, a spin-off, Evan Almighty, which is... that is brutal. I don't know what they had over either of those stars to get it.
Never saw it.
Number 4, Elektra. 2005's Elektra with Jennifer Garner.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't worse.
There's
Okay,
gotta be
how about
worse
this?
spinoffs out
The
there.
Scorpion King with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That
See,
was
the first
a
one is
popcorn
good.
movie. Yeah,
The first one is good. The subsequent 17 sequels are not good.
no good. And like the if they want to talk about like a movie that was bad and in the vein of Scorpion King, The Mummy Returns was all the CGI on The Rock
Ooh.
was awful.
That is
Yeah, but that movie was what? 2000? 99?
no, I think it was like early 2001, 2000.
Like 2000, 2002 at the latest?
At the latest.
I'm looking it up.
Hey, but since you said bad CGI, Josh, I got to bring up their number 2 pick, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Doesn't belong on this list.
Mummy Returns was 2001.
Okay, so it was 1 year later.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Doesn't belong on this
Worst
list.
CGI.
It doesn't belong on this list, but I would probably still put it like bottom 20.
It's not good. Like,
It's not a good movie.
Right, but like we can agree that it's far better than Alien versus Predator, far better than anything else that's on this list.
Yes.
The
Okay.
number 1 pick was Son of the Mask.
Never saw it.
Yeah, that movie is
Jamie
garbage.
Kennedy. I mean, what's a Mask movie without Jim Carrey? The answer is shouldn't have been made.
Well, they wanted to bring Jim Carrey back. He
I
said
don't
no.
care. If Jim Carrey says no, you're like, oh, okay, well, no, that's not happening.
Yeah, okay, because movie studios do that all the time.
And look how well that turned out for
Okay,
Aladdin.
they don't look at actors as replaceable objects. Sure.
What I'm seeing here on this list is, I mean, if they're counting down to the worst ever from 11,
Right.
how do you put Wolverine at 2?
Wolverine Origins was really bad.
It was not worse than the Ewok adventure. It was not worse than Alien vs.
All right,
Predator Requiem.
touche.
I would rather watch Wolverine Origins several
I'd watch
times before watching
Origins-
those again.
Oh, I'd watch that over Last Stand.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd watch that over Last Stand. Actually, Last Stand was just on TV.
Do we want to take a moment to correct or replace something with
No.
something?
No, I think we spent
'cause
plenty of time arguing over what's a spinoff.
For sure. And at this point, I think there are so many.
I don't need to hear Josh put on something that I deem a sequel and then get into that argument again. Josh will be like, you know what's a terrible spinoff? The Bourne Legacy. And I'm going to be like, it's a sequel! So let's not do that.
So as we've learned with Josh over the last couple weeks, keeping up with television shows and binge watching can pretty much feel like it's a job. So I thought this article was extremely interesting from Quartz, and it says that keeping up with Netflix originals could basically be a part-time job now. They did a measurement of the release schedule of 2018 Netflix originals, and it's close to 1,500 hours of original movies, series, and comedy specials.
Yeah, I opt out of most of that shit, and I think like the heaviest number may be in documentaries and docuseries, which I never watch.
No one's watching Planet Earth season 28.
Of the content that they released, there's a breakdown here, handy dandy chart. 66% of it is series, 11% is documentaries, 10% are films. The rest of it are smaller, less than about 5%.
11% of 1,500 hours?
Yes, sir.
You said 1,500?
Yes, sir.
That's 150 hours of documentaries. That is way too much.
Yeah, they do a lot.
No one needs to know that much information.
But again, this just continues to prove there's too much. There's too much to watch. I haven't seen Bird Box. I haven't seen this. We've talked to people. Have you seen Maniac?
Anyway, I'm just saying Bird Box was mediocre.
Yeah,
it does not deserve all the hype that it's getting, but it was a decent.
But here's the interesting
film.
stat. This is where it came in. If you would have dedicated a day, right? If you figure out how can I watch all of this content, it would have taken more than 4 hours a day of every day in 2018 to watch all of the content released. So listen, this is the opportunity for you to excuse yourself for not having watched the latest thing on Netflix. Like
this is when people introduce a statistic that means nothing.
Right? Exactly. Yes.
So I get it. They have a ton of content. It's wonderful. Nobody watches all the content. It's not for everybody. They cater to every genre.
And they have all sorts of foreign stuff on there. And secondly, if you want to, you really could. There is no excuse. You only go to work for 8 hours a day. Then you have 4 hours of Netflix, and then you go to bed.
I swear
it's
to fucking
easy.
God, if you're advocating for people spending their time watching and catching up on shit, I'm going to come over there. And I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna put that microphone right up your ass.
You know what? I'm leaving that in the show because I agree with him. That's staying in. Don't be sitting here telling me that you should have enough time to watch some things.
That is a legitimate threat.
I'm going to
clearly a joke, but yes, threat received.
I am taking it. No. I'm coming to your front door. I know where you live now. I'm coming to your front door, and I'm taking a shit, and I'm leaving it there. I'm not lighting it on fire. Not putting it in a dog bag.
It's very hard to figure out who did that.
Call the police, I'll admit, and then I'll explain to them our situation. And they'll be, oh, well, that's acceptable. Yeah, I get it.
He'll just play them this piece right here, and they'll be like, oh, he fucking, and then you'll have two cops shitting on your fucking porch as well.
One of them's going to be a little shy, though. We're going to have to kind of coax him in, let him know it's okay, give him a little privacy, turn our backs. But
give him a little fiber.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But basically, it comes down to this. My thing is this. I
need a cup of juice.
Don't let people give you shit for not having seen a Netflix thing. And also, don't watch Fuller House. And that takes off a lot of time. Then you're good to go.
It only takes out like 13 hours.
That's
now when they calculated this, when they calculated this, it's just for this year.
That's just for 2018. Last year.
Right, so that's just like the latest season of Fuller House. It's just the latest season of Narcos.
Year. It's going to be worse next year.
Well, yeah, clearly. They're amping up their movies too.
Right. Seriously though, the original series category is staggering.
Huge. Now, they're, as we've talked about, they're the I was going to say network, but they're not really a network. They're the service that will have something on, and if the almighty algorithm says no bueno, it's gone.
That's right.
Like this everything sucks.
So maybe the message here isn't it's not for everybody or it's not aimed at everybody. The stats are wrong for sure, but maybe the takeaway is utilize your list.
Yeah.
Like prioritize it based on if there is this much content available, then there's probably always something to keep you entertained. So use your list.
To be fair, the stat that I gave the stat that I gave you is Netflix original content. So I'm not talking about all the licensed stuff. I'm not talking about the Avengers movies that are on there. I'm not talking about the major TV shows. It's not The Office. I'm talking just about Netflix originals. That's crazy. And now the fact that we're going to get Disney, right? The fact that we have Hulu in the game, the fact that we have like things like Crackle. I mean, that exists, right? I mean, that's a service.
Yeah, Crackle you do for like anime.
No, Crackle's got that show with.
Oh no, that's Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's Crunchyroll. Yeah, there's a lot of streaming
so
stuff.
Much.
Crave TV, Letterkenny, yay!
So there's a lot to watch, and again, this comes to one thing. As we know, Josh has the ability. He's had the ability to do binge watching, and Brian still owes me one season of Doctor Who. So now that we've talked about streaming, IMDb is launching a free movie and TV streaming service called Freedive. And of course, because it's IMDb, it will be free to stream through Amazon Fire TVs. And then for the rest of us, we'll have to use our computers and then somehow get it onto our televisions.
I go to IMDb at least twice a day. I swear to God.
At least.
Yeah, so the co-founder, so the founder of and CEO of IMDb says customers rely on IMDb to discover movies and TV shows and decide what to watch. With the launch of IMDb Free Drive, they can now also watch full-length movies and TV shows on IMDb and all Amazon Fire devices for free. Now, again, I want to let you know about this. This is not going to be new release, fresh stuff. This is going to be things like Gilligan's Island, The Fringe, Heroes, The Bachelor,
3 hours,
The Illusionist, The Last Samurai. It's Memento. The Illusionist.
Dude, Last Samurai is amazing.
I like The Last Samurai. But what I'm saying is...
Last Action Hero's on here, right?
Last Action Hero? That's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Probably available somewhere else to stream, but whatever. But it's free. But I'm assuming this is going to be
available
freemium.
on my movie shelf.
But I'm assuming this is freemium. I'm sure there'll be some ads somewhere in there.
I see some good movies in there.
But I'm with you. If you haven't seen Last Action Heroes, now's your chance. Like, get on that. It will be available in the U.S. only, coming out in 2019. International release, we'll see. Also, if you're an international listener, hi, and tell me where you are.
Hola.
Tell me where you are.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
And we've...
Bienvenue.
What's this? We just lost all Spanish-speaking...
Bienvenue.
Oh, hey, we just lost all Spanish-speaking listeners. Also, for the people that are in Greece, though, that listen to us and made us, like, number 3, thank you for the people in Greece. I appreciate you guys. So thankfully, the service does not require a subscription. So, hey, it's free movies. So no subscription fee needed. Again, I'm sure it'll probably have some kind of ads, though, because, Amazon, that's just probably how they'll do that. And they'll take that data and then help you buy toilet paper. So who knows? Be pretty cool. So moving on to some other news. This one is something that I found this week. A lot of people got really excited. And unfortunately, it's... That's something that kind of revved my engine, but I know you guys would like it. It's Coming to America 2 is officially happening with Eddie Murphy. Now, I got to preface my lead to this. I have seen Coming to America. I enjoyed Coming to America. I didn't connect with it the way that everyone else did, so it wasn't my, like, oh my God, Coming to America. But it was pretty good. So discuss amongst yourselves. There's your topic.
I really don't care.
Oh, good. So it's not just me. I also think this is way
for
too
Eddie
long.
Murphy for getting back into doing stuff.
This is way too long. By the way, in between 1 and 2 again, this is one of those terrible things of way too long.
Okay, I was 7 years old when I saw Coming to America. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. It to this day is in my top probably 2 comedies. So, and that's just a function of, I saw it when I was super young and I thought it was hilarious.
But
So, bring it on.
Okay,
bring it
all
on.
right.
If it gives me a few laughs, I'll be happy that the story continued as a sequel.
We can agree this is a sequel. And
Well,
not
yeah,
a spin-off.
it's very simple.
Because there's a 2
in
in
the
it.
title.
Okay. Whew. Just want to make sure we at least got that taken care of, which is great. All right.
But what if it only has just the one character?
That's not.
Does that make it a spin-off?
I mean, it really depends. Are there themes in the first movie that
I don't
are being
think it
continued?
does.
I'm not doing this. Well, now let's turn our attention to the world of comics. See how it's affecting TV, see how it's affecting movies, but most of all, how is it affecting Brian? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
Avengers assemble to maybe kind of not really host the Oscars?
No, that's dumb. You're dumb.
Listen, this is the rumor floating around. We got to bring it up.
Dude, that'd be fucking hilarious.
People have asked. I think it would be great. It's not going to happen, but I think it'd be great. Let RDJ be RDJ or be.
I would watch the
Wouldn't
monologue
you?
for that. Just the opening. That's it.
Well, yeah.
And then I would turn off.
Yeah,
the
then
Oscars.
that's what you do anyway. And then you just go on YouTube the next day to see who won.
Yeah,
what.
you just see who the winners are.
Yeah.
You know what? As a matter of fact, that's what I would just watch every scene of the Avengers.
And just skip the awards.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody would put that on YouTube.
Yeah, it'd be
right?
a nice quick montage. I'm all for
Yeah.
that.
Give me that montage. That's what I want.
need a montage. Montage.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, and we all agree that's a terrible idea, and it's not going to happen anyway. if you are a DC fan, there's obviously so many ways already for you to get your hands on DC Comics. And DC decided this week that they're just going to add another way to do it. DC is joining Comixology Unlimited. They're dealing Kindle Unlimited and to Amazon Prime. Brian, when I showed you this topic list, you said, hey, listen, I'm in, but like the titles have got to be good. The titles are in the article, which of course are available within the show notes. I got to know, Brian, how do you feel about the list that's going to be available?
All right. So how do I feel? How do I feel about the list of titles available through Comixology? Is that what the question is?
That was the question, sir.
I feel like they are comic books. I feel like I would read them.
But is this a good list?
I feel like I would read them in a digital format.
So let me ask you a question, though. We've obviously we get a lot of questions about how do we get into comics, and if people are interested in DC, is this a selection? Is this a selection that is pretty good to get into?
It's a great book. This is a great selection. Listen, anybody that asks me, well, how do I get into comics?
I'm sorry we're using that voice for you. It's a legitimate question.
I usually hand them stuff like Watchmen, stuff like Dark Knight Returns, Preacher, V for Vendetta. All of that shit's on here. The Sandman. I mean, this is a solid list of books that are entertaining. And really, you don't even need to be like, oh, I want to read superheroes. Like, it's not all superheroes. Preacher, Why the Last Man, stuff like that has nothing to do with the superhero genre. So this is a solid list. Ooh, Fables. Fables is a good book too.
All right.
Anyway.
So there you go. If you are interested in DC Comics themselves, if you don't have DC Universe, if you are a subscriber or interested in Comixology Unlimited, Kindle Unlimited, or Amazon Prime Reading, get on that. You can get some DC Comics. And if you hear that barking dog, that means that we have to talk about the most important thing that happened this week, and that is the trailer to Punisher Season 2, which, full disclosure, I didn't watch because this show is already canceled, so I'm not excited.
What? You're not excited?
So listen, there's no denying the fact that Punisher is fantastic and that this season's going to be great. The trailer looks amazing. It's premiering on January 18th, so the Friday that you're listening to this, if you're listening to when we release. It's just hard for me to make this an appointment watching Netflix, knowing that it's gone after this, and who knows how they end it. Did they give this thing a wrap, or does it end with a great setup and we'll never fucking see again?
I guess we're gonna have to watch.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it later, and when everyone tells me how great it is, and if they're disappointed by it or not, and we'll take it from there. But you guys can be very excited about it, which I'm fine with.
That trailer was fantastic.
It's a great trailer.
Here's my one
show's
problem.
going to be kick-ass. It's canceled already.
I have one issue, and it is thus. Jigsaw is not really Jigsaw. His face is not all messed up, and I'm a little upset by that.
Yeah, it's just on the cheeks.
Yeah, it's just like a little scar. Like, oh, okay, well, that's not that big a deal. Like, your face is supposed to be all jacked up. And they're going to be like, oh, well, his mask is in a Jigsaw. Like, listen, I understand you cast Ben Barnes, and he's got a beautiful face. Let's not deny that.
Right.
But if you're going to cast Ben Barnes with the idea that he's going to be Jigsaw, you gotta mess up his face. Yeah. The only problem I have. Other than that, looks awesome. Very excited.
All right, listener, let's end the show on a high note. This is the part where we turn to you every single week that I remember to post it. And we ask you, listener, our question of the week, which was, what toy did you always want as a kid but never got? And if you were to buy it now, how much would it cost? All right, Patreon supporter Andrew Capilla said, I always wanted the Thundercats lair. I love the Thundercats and always will. My first tattoo was the eye of...
Agamotto?
No, the eye of Thundera. And this new cartoon coming out is an abomination and it should never have been shown. I looked at eBay a few times and the cat lair and the price ranged from $500 to $700.
Yeah.
I feel for you, Andrew.
That's crazy. Our Patreon supporter Megadon Cole says, I grew up in a pretty rural area where I spent a lot of time digging up my backyard with a Tonka truck, biking through the woods, and whittling sticks into weird creations. I know I had a lot of toys, but can't remember one that I wanted and didn't have until Power Wheels came out. I live in an area where Power Wheels never would have operated appropriately. And I remember as a teen in the 90s seeing Power Wheels and wishing they existed when I was small enough to fit in one. And if you were to buy one now, you could go to any of your, stores and pick up a Power Wheel for $200. That is sad, Megan.
It sounds to me like Megan was part of the cult from Wicker Man, which she would just make things and sacrifice guys with bees. Not the bees! Brian!
Okay, so our listener, Paul, answered the question, but didn't really answer the question because the question was, what don't you have? And
no.
I know for a fact that
the question was, what was the toy that you want from a kid? And if you were to buy it now, how much would it cost? He answered the question properly.
He did.
I don't believe you.
The defense is wrong.
Okay, Marissa. So Paul's answer was the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Megazord, and Dragozord. Finally got to own them as an adult, as they can be found in okay shape for $70 to $100. A sealed unit and re-releases are over $400 though.
Paul, I'm going to break your heart on this because number one, I still have my original one I got when I was a kid. Now it's beat to shit, so it's probably worth nothing, but I still have it. However, Paul, I went to a flea market and I found an original one in great condition. The person had no idea what they had, and I got it for $20.
Oh!
And it sits in my closet.
The best feeling ever.
It sits in my closet, completely away from anything or anybody. And I verified that it is an original one, and I got it for $20. I took it and I ran. So
exciting,
Paul. I always
have, every once in a while, I have a dream that I'm in a scenario like that, and I get like the first appearance of Spider-Man, and I wake up really happy, and then realize it was a dream.
Oh, that's the worst.
Sucks.
Now, not to be outdone, good Laura Burns. She said, I was a child of the 80s and had awesome toys, and the ones I didn't have, I didn't want anyway.
My name is Laura. I had everything I could possibly want.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for helping out.
She had all the Rainbow Brights, all the My Little Ponies, all the Care Bears.
I think her thing when we were looking at it was, it seemed like toys were less expensive back then, and also she didn't want 70% of the shit on the list. So, and that was your question.
No.
What toy did you always want as a kid but never got? Do we have any more?
No, that's it.
So, the question was, what toy did you always want as a kid but never got? For me, Micro Machines and Matchbox Cars. My parents would never, ever, ever buy me Micro Machines.
Is it because they didn't like how fast the guy talked on the commercials?
I don't know, man. That was the thing that I was like,
Micro Machines.
That's what I wanted. Like, I was enamored by cars when I was a kid, so that's all I wanted. But I never got any. Like, I had a few little ones. Like, they would just, toss me one, but I wanted to be the kid with, like, a wall. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nope.
That happened.
And how much they are now, I don't know. The ones that I wanted, $1 bajillion.
Google one. Just for fun. Google one.
Well, I don't know.
Because I guarantee you they're not $1 bajillion. Micro Machines,
No?
I mean, they're probably a couple hundred, depending on the Micro Machine you're looking for.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying.
But that's not a bajillion.
That's $1 bajillion for a Micro Machine? I mean,
hang on.
Like just in like dollars per milligram. That's a lot.
Per milligram.
You had the perfect opportunity to use harmonicas,
harmonica?
and you didn't use it.
I couldn't use harmonicas.
You can use harmonicas. It's a half a harmonica, a quarter harmonica.
No, that would be like
it's not a half harmonica.
0.00001 harmonica.
That's perfect.
I mean, yeah, I'm seeing lots of like Micro Machines and like sets of like 10 for like $100, $200.
Dude, these were a $5 package. I didn't want to collect them. I wanted to play with them.
Brian, what was yours?
All right, I have two answers to this. One, you'll realize why I have two answers for a moment. Okay. But the first thing, I remember growing up in the 90s, and during the heyday of the Spider-Man cartoon, they released the Spider-Man web blasters that you actually put on your wrist and shot out silly string, and I always wanted it, and I never got one. I can't answer the question of, well, how much is it now? Because they're continually re-releasing them. There's still web shooters out. I saw a set with like Spider-Gwen, and they're like $30. I could totally buy a set if I wanted one right now. I look at it and I go, I'm 32 and about to get married. Do I really I'm not so sure my fiance would be extremely happy if I'm spraying silly string all over our apartment.
Unless it's Happy Time Murders, right? And then
right. So I stopped myself. Now, the other thing is more of a recent need. It's not something I've always wanted since I was a kid. It's something I remember having as a kid.
Okay.
I had this.
All right. I'll allow it.
When me and my brother separated and moved out of our parents' house, he took it from me and claimed that it was his, when really it was ours. But he claimed, no, this is mine. And I said, whatever, I don't care anymore. But now I care. It's a board game called a Mega Virus. Have you ever played this game?
No.
This game was badass. So the entire concept, I'll paint the scene for you. You are on a space station. There is an evil alien virus taking over the space station. You are competing with your friends to collect 4 components so that you can defeat the virus in your space station.
Okay.
It was one of those games, much like Mall Madness, that had like a little like box that had like a computer in it.
Sure.
And it was constantly counting down. And as it was counting down, certain sections of the board would close off to you. So, like, after a certain time, there was no way you could beat the game. And it was awesome. And it was fun. And I said, you know what? I should buy that, because my brother, in his infinite wisdom, tricked me and took this game away from me. I Googled how much it would cost me to get it. You want to know how much this game is now?
How much is the game?
I do.
$279.
Oh my God.
That is legitimately the price of my PlayStation.
Jesus.
So I have not bought it yet, but I'm still thinking about it. Or if either of you are feeling generous and want to give me a sweet-ass wedding gift, Omega Virus.
Put it on the registry. Let's see what we made it happen.
Right.
For me, I was big into Power Rangers. As we talked, I still have my Zords. My Dragon Zord did fall apart though, so Paul does have me on that one. I need a Dragon Zord. I really wanted the Titanus one, and it was the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger dinosaur ones. It was after you get the Megazord and then you put the Dragon Zord on top of it. It was like this big Brontosaurus like thing that they would all stand in, and then it would drive. It was something I really, really wanted. And I told my parents that. Now listen, they'd already bought me all these other Zords. Like my parents were absolutely wonderful and bought me everything I really wanted for Christmas. They were great parents, but I really wanted this. I looked up. There are remakes of it, reproductions, and they're $60. But look, how much does an original one cost? So how much the OG one that I coveted from Toys R Us? $124.99 on eBay right now. No, I don't need that. I don't need that at all. But it's definitely something I remember as a kid really wanting. But now that I grew up, I realized, well, my parents really did right by me on Christmas. So it's not as fresh as Brian's, which has trickery involved and other things like that. So
I've been duped.
Would love to hear from you, listener. If you didn't get a chance to answer our question of the week, I'm the one who plays
board games all the time.
So, listener, I still want to hear from you. If you didn't get a chance to answer our question of the week, that's fine. Shoot us a line on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram at That Kind of Nerd Podcast on Instagram, and tell us, what is a gift that you always wanted as a kid, never got it, but if you could buy it now, how much would it cost? All right, listener, I have one request from you. I want you to share this episode. Give it to a friend. Give it to a stranger. Give it to the guy who's asking for $1. Tell him, hey, listen to That Kind of Nerd Podcast. It's pretty good, because sharing is the ultimate internet currency, and we thank you for your donation.
I do want to make sure you understand that you cannot actually purchase goods and services with this podcast, but go ahead and try. Let me know how it works
I'm
out.
curious. If you're successful with it, let me know.
If you are, then sweet. I got a whole bunch of extra recordings that we could use. That Kind of Nerd fans, I need you to unite and tell Josh that I am correct.
Oh, God.
You've done it before, folks. I believe in you. I expect Facebook posts, Instagram posts, text messages, not to me, but to Josh, telling him that I am correct about this whole sequel spinoff thing.
And yes, please, for the love of God, just can we settle this sequel spinoff debate? So, Brian, thank you. Your point has been taken. And just a reminder, if you are on our Patreon, we are also releasing our spoiler cast for Bumblebee. So go to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd, join the $10 tier, and you'll get access to that show. All right. Thank you, listener, so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. Again, thank you so much for listening to the show. It means the world to us, and we will see you next week.
Well, welcome to the club, because you are that kind of nerd.
You know, we should play a game where we just read our old episode descriptions
and try to guess, see who so you can get close enough.
Figure out who came up with the title or what the title was or something.
Okay, so knowing that, we can do that real quick right now. What episode number do you think Stabby Sexy Sexy was? How far into that
was
kind of
60?
nerd?
What was that? 67? Shooty?
Yeah, that was like 67.
42.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 47.
Hey, you are both wrong. It was
$1, Bob.
It was episode 32.
Ooh,
32.
35.
We should do that now. When you recommend an episode,
I want to say both those titles were mine.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
When we do this next time, I think we should do. I'll say the name of the title of the episode, and you have to tell me what it was about. I think that's how.
I can't remember what we talked about over the past 3 years,
and who coined it,
and who coined it.
I can tell you who coined it half the time, but I can't tell you what.
Well, it's because it's either you or I. So half the time you're probably
we'll probably it's usually 50-50 chance on who did it. And then I mean there's a few where it's just it's just what's happening.
I only go Charmin double ply, none of this single ply shit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The Charmin soft.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Angel Soft is a fucking lie.
It's the ideal balance of softness and strength.
It is not. It is bleed from the anus.
I agree with you. It's pretty bad.
Are you guys square counters or are you not? Are you like
no? Whatever gets the job done, bro.
Square counters? Oh no! I just kind of hit it like a cat.
I don't go like I don't have a square.
Bigger question. Stop. Bigger question. Over or under?
What?
Over or under?
Oh no! It's over.
Always over, right?
It's always over. But more
unless you have cats, then it's under.
No. I have a cat.
I think the real question is sit or stand.
Oh God!
What?
Here's the thing. Do you know? People don't know that the other half even exists.
I know. I'm educating you, fuck.
I know.
Hasco stands.
I'm a stander. Yes.
Oh my God! You're a stander.
I'm a stander.
What the fuck is wrong with
I'm
you?
not sitting in there.
Jesus Christ!
I'm not getting closer to that feces than I already have. I got
you
got on both
stand
sides.
to shit.
No, not stand to shit.
No, he
stand to wipe. How do you wipe? You stand to wipe.
No, you don't.
Stand to wipe. Josh, I need this. I really need
That's
you.
not how this works.
Absolutely, under no circumstances do you stand to wipe.
Thank you.
Nope, stand to wipe.
That's not how this works at all.
Stand to wipe.
You're just spreading anything that might be there. You're just spreading it around. You're making the job harder.
More importantly, you're just clapping it together.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Everything.
And it's spreading it around.
Do you fold or do you wad?
It depends on if I have my 2-ply or not.
If I'm at home and it's
right. If you're at home,
soft, I'm using 2 squares.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't take much.
Okay. Good. At least we all agree on that. Folding is the right way to do it.
But if I'm
you don't fucking bundle it up.
At that point, what the fuck are you doing?
You got a baseball in your fucking
water.
I
agree. Just not good.
My wife just
big money.
It's like Russian roulette. No way.
Big money. I'll take an E.
Look, my desk, boys, is right next to the powder room, right? So I'll hear it, and I'll go, "Whoa there, little bear," which is the actual Charmin ad.
It is.
And she will fucking start cracking up in the powder room.
I brought this up as a joke, but I feel like we all just got a little bit closer.
I think we did.
I'm glad.
I think we did. We all learned I'm a monster, but at least we all agree on the fact that
you are a fucking savage, sir. Get your shit together.
That's what we're gonna do.